but we'll start off with reading off the title and seeing if they are the asshole, and then reading the story to see if they were or not, see if we were correct on our guess. So the first one is, am I the asshole for letting my daughter be hungry and not ordering for her at a fast food place? No? I guess I'll just say no. I mean, is there food at the house? But I'll say no. I'll say no. My daughter is 15 and she has social anxiety. She is in counseling for it and not meds, not needed. The rule in our household is that if you want fast food when we are out, you pay for it with your own money. If you don't have McDonald's money, you aren't going there. I also don't allow eating in the car, so we stop at places to eat. We had to go out and do some errands. I told her to grab something to eat beforehand, but she said she wasn't hungry. We go on our errands, and halfway through she wants to stop by Wendy's. I pull in and tell her to go order and I will get a seat. She comes back a few minutes later and tells me she can't order. She doesn't want to talk to the cashier at the front of the store. I told her she needs to order and we will head out. She asked me to order and I told her no. We sit for about 10 minutes when I tell her it's time to go. She, in short, is pissed, and my wife is also upset I didn't order for her. But I let her go hungry. I find this stupid. I didn't starve her for days. It was a 4-hour outing. Am I the asshole? Edit. For those asking, yes, her counselor has told us she needs to start doing this stuff on her own. This was low risk. She literally gave the example of ordering food without our help. I also ran through a script with her on the table, but she wouldn't do it. No? It was a 4-hour outing? Maybe she'll, like, learn to be better about... I don't know. I still don't order for myself, so... No? I'm gonna say no. Am I the asshole for telling my brother that he has to sack his housekeeper if he won't behave professionally with her? I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. English is not my first language, so bear with me, please. My 42 female, brother 39 male, has a live-in housekeeper, Vivian. I believe this girl is 18 or 19. In our country, and particularly our city, housekeepers are in very high demand, especially ones from the same region of our country as Vivian is, because they have the best food in the country. My brother got divorced a year ago and got very depressed, so I advised him to hire a housekeeper to help him maintain his daily tasks. She also helps him by babysitting his 2 daughters when it is custody time when he is at work. I went grocery shopping a few weeks ago with my brother, and he picked up a box of chocolates and some flowers for Vivian. Oh no. He told me that she was sick, and I thought it was very sweet of him. However, my nieces and my brother's daughters told me that their father always hits on Vivian when she is working, and he buys her expensive gifts. That's weird. Then yesterday, he made an offhanded comment about her body when she was bringing some food to the table when I went to his home to have lunch with him. She laughed awkwardly and excused herself. That's weird. I asked him what he was doing, and basically he is attracted to her. I told him that his behavior with her was not appropriate, and he is her employer and he cannot behave. He should let her go. When he hired her, her agency said that there were many other families who wanted her because of resumes, so she will not be left jobless. I told him that she deserves to have a workplace that is safe. Yep, absolutely. He was very upset and said I was treating him like a creep and it wasn't my business. You are being a creep, dude. I left after this and he called me demanding an apology. What the heck is up? What do you mean? I feel like I may have overstepped since he told me Vivian has not complained herself. I feel very bad now and I'm wondering if I am the asshole. No! What? There's no way. There's no way. What the heck? Dude, she should just leave. She should just leave. But how could you? That's weird. Not the asshole. That's crazy. I'm gonna look to see what else this person said because, like, what do you mean? Have they posted multiple times on here? No, this is the same story. I once had hired help when my children were younger and I treated her like my surrogate daughter and we still speak today. She actually cheated on him and he left her. Maybe she did it because of behavior though. Oh, this person like all the tea. Hold on. His divorce was quite bad because his wife cheated on him and perhaps he is trying to feel like a man again after what happened. Oh my god. Damn, okay. Am I the asshole for kicking out my sister for lying about my daughter making nasty comments about her? I would say no. My sister, 28, lives with me and my wife due to her not being able to afford a place to stay at the moment. We never really had the best relationship when we were younger, and I would exclude her from stuff I do, not that she's done anything wrong. I just never liked her, much to my parents' anger. She and her daughter don't really have a great relationship either. She would often lie about my daughter saying stuff about her, seeing as I love my daughter more than her. I wouldn't believe her. What? Recently, my sister complained to me that my daughter made fun of her acne she has. My daughter isn't the type to make fun of problems people have, so I obviously didn't believe her, but she kept pestering me about it. I obviously had enough and kicked her out. Later on, my parents called me furious, saying, "How dare I kick out my sister for a miniature version of me?" What? It's her daughter. And they demanded I punish my daughter for her comments. I refused. Then they said, "Fine, she'll be punished when we babysit her." What? Seeing as they babysit her when I'm at work. What? Since I don't want my daughter punished for something she didn't do, I stopped having my parents babysit my daughter. Since this happened, lots of my family sent me angry messages. Am I the asshole? Forgot to say, I'm 36 and my wife is 38. No? What the heck? What do you mean? I would stop talking to the family after that. That's weird. Am I the asshole for telling my friend to take down her viral video because people are fat shaming me? No? I would say no. I don't know. No? My friend, 17 female, makes TikTok regularly, and she has a decent following of a few thousand. She wanted to grow it for a while, and sometimes she would complain to me that it wasn't having any growth, and I, 17 female, would try and help her get a viral video. Well, it happened, and over the past few days, she's had quite a lot of likes. I'm deliberately trying to be vague with describing this, as this point is about my insecurity, and I don't want somebody to find it and add to that. We recorded a video of us both dancing together to a popular song right now, and it got her a lot of followers and likes. She's really happy, but a part of why it seemed to go viral is because people are fat shaming me in the replies. That's so mean. I am quite overweight. I'm 250 pounds and I'm quite insecure with my body, which is why I didn't want to be in my friend's video to begin with, but she convinced me. I didn't think it would go viral, so I was wearing a crop top and shorts, and now people are calling me it or a thing. Aww. And saying rude things like telling me to cover up, and that is a violation to their eyes. People are so mean. It shouldn't even offend me because I know they're all 13-year-olds, but those comments have hundreds of likes and I'm really embarrassed. Aww, I only noticed this morning when my friend told me that her video went viral and I told her to take it down because people are being rude to me, and I showed her some of the comments. She told me to stop being selfish and that I willingly chose to appear in the video and that I'll ruin her getting popularity now. I told her that I think it would go viral, and she says that she understands that it's not fair of them to make fun of my body, but the video already has downloads and you can't wipe anything from the internet, so it's useless to delete it. And then I need to get tougher skin. Am I the asshole? I know you can't delete anything, but I really didn't expect to see hundreds of likes calling me a whale or anything. No, I don't think they're being the asshole. That's so... I don't like that the friend was like, you're being selfish. I feel like, I don't know, if that's your friend, shouldn't you feel like really upset that people are saying that about your friend? Especially if it's something like that. Oh my gosh, that's so... Not the asshole at all. I don't like your friend. She tweeted stop being selfish. She was prioritizing pretend internet points over your concerns and well-being. Yes, you consent to be in the video, but you can withdraw your consent anytime too. She doesn't care and wants those sweet, sweet favorites. Wow. This person is not your friend. You are not the asshole. Report the video to TikTok for bullying and they will remove it and give her a counter strike. Then I block her and move on. You deserve better to be treated like this. Absolutely. Aww. I report the video, but I'm not really sure why it does because it's just us dancing, so it doesn't really look like bullying or anything. I reported some comments too, but I haven't gotten an update on them yet. Thank you, and thank you for the other words too. Oh, that's just, not the asshole. This one is, am I the asshole for choosing to not wear a bracelet my stepmother and stepsisters wore to their weddings? No? I would just say no. I, 24 female, I'm getting married this winter. My stepmother wanted me to wear a bracelet that was handed down from her grandmother that she and my stepsisters all wore at their weddings, and that their half-sisters will likely wear at theirs at my wedding and have it to be my something borrowed. Oh yeah, that's a thing. I told her it was a really sweet offer, but I already had my something old, something new, something borrowed, and blue taken care of. She was upset that I didn't have her help with any of that. She asked me what would represent her half of my family on my wedding day. I told her they didn't really need representing and that my step and half siblings will be there, as well as her. She told me I'm not including her whole family like I'm including my paternal and maternal sides, and that she already knows I'm wearing some stuff of my mom's and some stuff of my maternal family members. She said she wanted to see me honor both moms during the wedding. I still chose not to wear it. She's upset because she married my dad when I was 9, after my mom died, and wanted me to embrace her and her family, her kids and extended family, as equally family to me and my mom and dad and maternal and paternal families. She knows I don't, but I know she wants me to take the symbol anyway. She argued a bit. Then she told my dad, and he told me it would be extra sweet and meaningful to make my stepmother happy and show love and acceptance for my third parent and third side of my family. Am I the asshole? No, that's. I think. I don't know. That's a little. I don't think you're the asshole. That's a little weird to like try to force it on your wedding. Yeah, I'm gonna say no, not the asshole. Not the asshole, your wedding, your choice. You had one mom and you remember it, that you remember and honor. Your stepmom can expect you to just ignore your mom's family and memories and wear jewelry that means nothing to you. Just to be included a little bit too. At no point did the stepmom wanted OP to say ignore mom and material family. Kind of think I should do so. The sub isn't called Do I Have To, it's called Am I the Asshole? On someone's wedding day, there might even be a legitimate reason for her to say no, like she already had a bracelet. Nobody's saying Opie doesn't have the right to say no. Some are saying that her saying her no makes her the asshole based on the info Opie provided. Those people would be right. You've created a lot of scenarios that aren't addressed in OP in order to justify your opinion. Jesus Christ! I'm not saying these aren't possibilities, but if you have to make scenarios to justify your opinion, it's pretty clear your opinion isn't supported by the facts at hand. OP doesn't address any ill will with stepmother, and the fact that stepmother and step-siblings are invited to the wedding, it's reasonable to assume that no ill will exist. As such, according to the information provided, OP is definitely the asshole. They're intentionally excluding stepmother with no valid reason. While I wholeheartedly agree that I don't want it is enough of a reason not to do something, it is not enough of a reason to make one. Not the asshole. I don't know. This is going so in depth. But I'm gonna say not the asshole. Did I say other stuff? I don't think of her as a second mom, and our relationship is rocky and has many ups and downs. Aw. I keep wishing I could do more to have my mom's presence there, but the truth is she's gone and nothing can bring her to my wedding. But the things are physical things I can wear to connect us to make it easier. I'm always aware that she's missing when I reach certain milestones. My wedding has been a big one. Aw. I don't want her to be my mom. That's not how I see her. I don't see her extended family as mine. Just never did. My extended family are my maternal and paternal sides. I already have a loving and wonderful mom. She's gone now, but she was always my mom no matter how long she's gone or did anything in my life afterwards. My stepmother and I can get along fine, but our relationship is rocky. She wanted to be accepted as one of my moms, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say not the asshole based on these. She's not doing the motherly things with me, but she and dad will be walking to their seats together, getting a special dance together along my future in-laws, and she will be shouted out in the toast. I don't think that's bad. I don't know. I don't know anything about like weddings and stuff, so I mean, I could be like missing something here, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Would I be the asshole for filling in my man-made pond against some neighbor's wishes? I'm gonna say yes. I'm thinking like this dude doesn't have like any actual experience and it could be one of those like DIY projects and it could go incredibly south. For the past several years, I've owned a property in a semi-rural area. It is part of an HOA with only 12 houses over 1,000 acres, so we don't get much in each other's way. There is a common area that abuts my property, and on it there is a pond that is fed via an irrigation headgate on a creek on my property and a cut that runs from it through my property. I've come to discover this pond is a real pain. One neighbor used to maintain it without making a fuss, but he died. Aw, rest in peace. So dealing with it fell to me, as the neighbor most affected by it, and it's a pain. People trespass to go fishing or having their dogs swim in it. People from outside have come to ice skate on it. Totally not safe. Totally not safe. Yeah, that's a liability. It has silting problems. Oh no. The headgate needs to be dug out every spring, sometimes multiple times. The cut clogs up and has to be cleared. Then a beaver took up a residence and kept blocking the outflow culvert, causing a flood on neighboring farmers' land. He was rightly pissed, and I got the brunt of it. I was clearing out beaver blockages several days a week. Nobody else in the HOA would help. I did some research and discovered that the water right for the headgate belonged to me alone, and not the association. Whoops! There was no easement in the irrigation cut and cherry on the Sunday. The pond is actually on my property and not common area. Had a survey done just to be sure. I also discovered it wasn't really a pond. It was a hole dug up to provide fill for our road, and the original developer just routed irrigation into the hole and called it a pond. But this explains why it's such a mess. What? Holy crap. This dude's like, cool, it's now a pond. No way. A landowner a mile away is now digging out a proper pond, and he has to pay a tenant to dispose of the fill, even though it is clean. I asked if it would help if he could put some of the fill in our pond, and he offered to pay for the privilege. I have closed the headgate and started draining the pond. Some members of the HOA have been yelling at me that they like the pond, just to look at as they drive out to the main road. So I said, okay, if you like it, pay up $10K a year for someone to deal with the nonsense. They refused. I said that in that case, the pond is getting filled in and planted with native grass. Using the money from making the fill, they can call me a selfish asshole. Am I? I'm gonna say, I mean, it's gonna suck, but no, I'm gonna say no. Because I'm gonna say not the asshole. That's just so much to deal with. That is literally so much to deal with. The pond is actually on my property in no common area. I had a survey done just to be sure. Well, that puts a very different spin on this. If it's on his property, he could be held liable for injuries. Oh yeah. If it's his land and they want him to deal with it, the others can't have both ways if they aren't willing to. Yeah, no, literally. He's like, okay, here's 10K. Like, literally. Like, okay, here's the option. No? Okay. Well, it wasn't a no. It wasn't a straight up no. Am I the asshole for kicking out my friend and his girlfriend during our wedding? No? I don't know. I feel like I might be wrong on this one. I'm feeling like I'm gonna be wrong. I'm gonna say no. Hey everyone. I, 29 male, just got married to my amazing wife, 29 female, 2 days ago. We've been planning our wedding for years, and it was supposed to be the perfect day. I had only one request from my friends. Please do not propose to your girlfriends at our wedding. Oh. I suspect one of my friends might try this because he had been talking about proposing, not directly to me, but to another friend. I specifically asked him not to do it. The wedding night was magical. I had prepared a special song to sing to my wife, a little piece that meant the world to us. As the music was coming to an end, my friend suddenly emerged from the crowd with his girlfriend and proposed to her right then and there. You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! I felt so betrayed, as you should. That bad person. Don't do this. And does it immediately. The crowd was cheering and clapping for them, completely overshadowing our moment. My wife didn't seem to mind too much, but I was just devastated. That little person, that son of a guy. Bad. Shortly after, I pulled them aside and asked them to leave the party and told them they couldn't attend the after party. They refused. What do you mean? So I had to ask security to escort them out. Now half of my friends are on my side, while the other half think I'm overreacting and that it wasn't a big deal. Even my parents said I was being too harsh. I'm seriously considering ending the friendship over this. So am I the asshole for kicking them out? Am I overreacting? No! No. You specifically said not to do a thing and they did exactly the thing they told you not to do. If that's what you said, like, if you specifically said not to do that, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Please do not propose to your girlfriends at our wedding. I don't blame. Like, if this was an alternate universe and you had like I get it. And like you were like, no, this is, I'm gonna stand by the ground. I don't care about anything. Like the fallout, the repercussions. You yourself, what do you think you would do? Would you kick them out like this person? That's crossing a line, bro. I don't know. What if they like try to do other stuff later on? Because like you said no to this. That just, I don't know, it hits me a little weird. Yeah, other person probably had no idea and all that. That is totally fair. You're so right. It does put other person in, like, it does put girlfriend in a difficult spot. I mean, wife didn't mind, but like, it's just, it really rubs me the wrong way. Alright, this one is, would I be the asshole if I tell my aunt that she needs to replace my baking tool she threw away? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, but there could be a situation where, like, they were needing to be cleaned and they weren't cleaned for a while, and, you know, it gets all gross and so you have to throw them out because they were just getting gross. I mean, it could be one of those situations, but it could not be. Okay, so some context for this. I love to bake, and last year I spent a pretty penny buying a set of baking utensils that I love. My aunt asked me if she could borrow them, and last week I said okay, and that I would need them back by today because I planned on baking my friend's baby shower cake. I went to her house this morning to get them, only to find out that she threw away several of my utensils away because they broke. To be clear, the heads of some of my utensils pop off to be washed in a dishwasher since the handles are wooden. She thought they broke because of this, and instead of calling to tell me, she just threw them away. I'm going to buy new ones today so I can bake the cake, but I want her to buy me the same brand of the ones that she threw away. Not the whole set, just the brushes and spatulas. It would only cost her like $20 to $30 at most. So, would I be the asshole to tell her she needs to buy me new ones? No? Oh my gosh. She just threw them away? She just threw them away? What do you mean? I bought these. Oh, they have a link to what they are. Oh my god, $80? I mean, it comes with a lot of stuff for $80, to be fair. And they threw away the silicone... this? That's crazy. Just the brushes and spatulas. Just the brushes and spatulas. All of these? There's no way. Alright, this one is, am I the asshole for telling her she's not that smart for buying things she can't afford? Yes, I'm gonna say yes. To summarize, I, 28, have been with my partner for 3 years. Some part of my family are kind of wealthy, but not all of them. My cousin Marie, around 38 female, is very lavish and arrogant. I've never felt welcomed by her. My family wasn't dirty poor, but we definitely struggled growing up. I don't deny my upbringing, and while I'm not very defensive about it, I try not to take things personally. Recently, during a family reunion, we were talking about how my sister-in-law's daughter, Sasha, has developed an interest in thrifting, both getting stuff from thrift shops and selling, donating things. My sister-in-law were talking about how that's such a nice hobby and nice thing to do. Sasha mentioned that her friend got a nice quality bag from a thrift shop. Then Marie inserts herself in the conversation and says she owns the so-called bag. Sasha says that her friend was lucky and got a very nice deal for it since she can't actually afford it as she's just a college student. Then Marie says that some stuff from thrift shops are disgusting and bad taste. Okay, alright. And leftovers from others. Okay, high horse. I found that comment so nasty and I told her, well, not necessarily. What kind of bag is it, Sasha? Sasha says the brand, and I ask Maria, what's your bag? And she mentioned the same brand but gets defensive and adds, I bought a similar bag from a store and had to wait for it. That's how it's done. Okay. This is why I think I'm the asshole. I know Marie isn't that wealthy and they have been struggling financially. Obviously, she keeps that hidden and doesn't speak about it. Oh, uh-oh. So I tell her, well, it seems that Sasha's friend got a better deal since she bought that disgusting bag for less. Marie asks me, are you calling me disgusting? And I tell her, no, I'm just saying that you're not the smartest if you're buying things you can't afford. Damn. She got really upset at me and told me I was a very mean person, which I think I partially was, but I didn't care. She deserved that, and I don't think anyone should put down others for no reason, especially if they're not there to defend themselves. Am I the asshole? No. I'm going to say no, because that was not the asshole. I was wrong. But I'm glad I was wrong. Not the asshole. Some people think it's acceptable to talk and put people down to make themselves feel better. Sometimes you just gotta let them know you see them. Yeah, it's just weird. She wasn't even broke. Her husband makes good money, but she doesn't know how to handle that money. Oop. And oop. Spilling all the tea. Oh my gosh. Imagine being that aunt or like related to this family, and they're like, oh, it's on Reddit. Oh, we know which aunt they're talking about. Aunt's the asshole. She poked. Alright. Am I the asshole for telling the bride to keep the best man away from me? No? I'm gonna say no. I hope not. No? I, 28 male, attended a wedding on a plantation in Kentucky. Ugh. Okay. I was pretty tense being the only person of color at this wedding as is. Oh, the ceremony was whatever, nothing too weird to speak of. The reception was when I noticed the best man, Keith, kept shooting me looks. Oh no. Found out in the speech that he gave that he is a professional cowboy. Not exactly a red flag, but doesn't do much for the old comfort level. Anyway, the reception starts. I'm having an awesome time, and so are the bride and groom. Keith finds me and tells me a bit about being a professional rodeo cowboy and says, I was raised not like... What do you mean? Then he just awkwardly walks away. There's no way. No way. There's no way. This has got to be bait. I was kind of stunned that I had that interaction and wasn't really sure if that was a threat of some sort. His shirt wasn't buttoned down a bit, and I can tell that he probably could wrestle a cow. I don't know. I started thinking of my exit plan when the bride came up to me and asked if everything was okay. I was in shock a bit and told her that I just had a bizarre interaction with someone, but I was fine. I didn't want to tell her I think I'm going to be hate crimed at her wedding, and I was still processing the interaction. Probably 10 to 20 minutes go by and Keith finds me again on the dance floor. Oh no. This time he looked really odd, not the confident rodeo cowboy that he'd been talking about all night, and says, but I really like black people. At this point, I'm shook, but then he kisses me and I go a bit catatonic. What do you mean? What is this post? He must have been able to tell how not cool with it I was and awkwardly walked away again. He did this in a public place, so I'm assuming that someone saw, and when the bride finds me again, I just tell her, Keith just kissed me. Can you tell me to leave me alone? As the night goes on, my feelings kind of figured themselves out, and I realized that while his approach was pushing a number of boundaries, this guy is super sweet and really attractive and into me. Hopefully for more than just my skin tone. Oh. I wish he would have a better approach because aside from the looks, my family would kill you. What in the fuck? What is this post? And the nonsensical kiss, he seems like a great guy. Eventually, I kept thinking about him and asked the bride where he was so I could talk to him. Oh, she looked a bit awkward. I think he's still crying in his trunk. Is this like a novel somebody's trying to write? I didn't get to talk to him after that, and I hope he's doing okay. So yeah, anyway, am I the asshole for making maybe out of guys somehow? What? This one is just straight up the asshole, so let's see how they're being the asshole. Am I the asshole for leaving the dry wedding early to go out? And it's already marked asshole. Alright, let's see how they were. So 2 weeks ago, I, 35 female, went to a wedding in our college town for a member of our college friend group. My husband and I left the kids with my parents and we went. We got a Barbo with another couple I went to college with for a few days. My husband and I don't have a ton of time to ourselves away from the kids, so we were excited to let loose. On the invitation, it said the wedding went to 11 with an after party with the bride and groom at the venue. The venue was a gorgeous mansion and the bride and groom had it for the night. They were leaving the honeymoon the next morning. Cut to wedding day and it's a dry wedding. Apparently the groom is 2 years sober. No one told us this and we were admittingly bummed. When we found out there was no alcohol, we told people we were going to some bars after and not going to the after party. We left the wedding at 9:30 because we were itching to go out and the wedding was boring. Pretty much the whole college crew left around that time and went out. Apparently the bride's friends group did not stay for the party. The grooms did, and the objects were very lopsided at the party. We all heard from the bride about this, and she called us assholes for leaving. She said that she didn't feel supported and felt like we were spiting her now husband for his sobriety. I told her that she was reading too much into it. We just wanted to go out. She's especially mad at me as I'm looked at as the ringleader of this outing. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Am I the asshole? Edit. Ceremony was at 5, reception at 6. We left the wedding at 9:30. It was supposed to go until 11. I'd say yes. I'm gonna say yes, the asshole. In honesty, though, prom should just be there for them. That's why you're there. Kind of the assholes, yeah. It's kind of sad because you're like, you haven't seen your friends, and then you finally get a chance to sit down and talk to your friends, and like, they left. They left because they called your wedding boring. That would kind of hurt. Not kind of, it would hurt. You're going to get a lot of, if you can't have fun without, then you have serious and you suck crowd. But I don't agree with the sentiment at all. But I think it misses the point entirely. So I just want to be clear that that's not why I'm voting you the asshole. I do think that couples should disclose ahead of time so that people can plan, since it's the norm. But you were an asshole for this. We told people we were going to some bars and not going to the after party. We left the wedding at 9:30. You were talking shit at her wedding, and then you formed a whole group to leave her party early. That's a bad friend. Skipping her dry after party to go out would be totally fine and expected even. But to leave the wedding early and bringing a group with you, yeah, you suck super, super hard. She was trying to show her support her now husband, and she'll be supporting him like that during the whole marriage, and you couldn't even support your friend for 1.5 more hours? Life isn't about only ever doing what you want to do. You're running on a greedy algorithm, only choosing what makes you happy in the moment. Others be damned, but that's not what makes a good person. Sometimes we make us sit through long ceremonies for our siblings. Sometimes we have to go to boring art shows for our friends. Sometimes we have to participate in boring parties to celebrate the people we love. Get over it. Oh. Yeah, I see why they were voted the asshole. I see why. I get it. Oh, we're followed with the not the asshole now. Let's see. Am I the asshole for banning my roommate's girlfriend for touching my raw cookie dough? I would have said no. I mean, obviously it says no. So, I mean, I'm correct. Who knew? I rent a room with a lad called AJ. He's 31. He's dating Nina, 25 female. I don't mind if AJ has people over or anything, but Nina has been here a lot. I'm already annoyed because Nina always asks to borrow stuff from me. Can I borrow a pair of pants for work? I forgot mine. Do you have extra face masks, or can I borrow lotion, tampons, socks? I have always told her no. I don't make a lot, and I don't loan things. She was furious when I wouldn't give her a pad, but I use a diva cup and period underwear, and I am not sharing those. Valid. She got mad I wouldn't loan her a dress for their surprise date night. What is this? Why did she ask you? I told her if she asks again for anything of mine, then she's not allowed back in the apartment. I told her to stop acting like we are friends and don't use my stuff. Short of like medical things, band-aids, she should go buy her own stuff. This led to AJ being mad at me for making her feel unwelcome. What do you mean? What do you mean? She's like crossing boundaries. I said I don't want her around at all, and the next time it happens, I'm gonna ban her. He said she is not that bad. I ended up letting him know one more step over the line and she's gone. And if he breaks that ban, he can find a new place as he is month to month. Nina ended up being fine for a few days. I was making cookies from scratch. They come in from some date. She sees the cookie and asks the kind. I tell her chocolate chip and she comes over, sticks her finger in the dough, and takes a chunk. I got so mad and told her to get out. She's banned. I didn't care. When AJ tried to argue with me, I said I am not renewing the lease if she's not gone in 2 minutes. They left and I am now being called an asshole by friends. Am I the asshole? It is kind of, I mean, not the asshole. Yeah, not the asshole. Banning seems pretty extreme, but they keep like they keep crossing a boundary, you know? Alright, this one is, am I the asshole for wearing my friend's merch in front of my boyfriend's friends? No? What even? What even? I'll account because I have my siblings on my main. I don't want this in the family group chat yet. Haha. It might already be in the family group chat. Haha. Last weekend, my boyfriend and I went out for an outdoor excursion with his friends. It was very casual and we were all in athleisure. I brought my favorite hoodie, which happens to be from my friend's company. It has the company name on the breast of the logo on the back, just like on the breast and the logo on the back, just like one of those random merch things they give out at charity days, etc. But I love it because it's perfectly oversized and soft on the inside. One of my boyfriend's friends noticed and asked if I worked there, and I explained how I got it. This triggered a lot of questions from the group because they googled the company after I mentioned it. My boyfriend said on our way home that it was inappropriate for me to wear clothing with another guy's name on it around his friends. The company name is literally my friend's last name. It's not like a football jersey or something. And that I embarrassed him. What? I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but I can't understand what the big deal is. Everyone I've asked is on my side and says he's massively, but they're my friends. My one friend did say that while my boyfriend is being petty, I did make him look small, and while my boyfriend shouldn't have said anything, it makes sense he felt a bit awkward. What? This is the first instance of my boyfriend overreacting to something like this, so I'm trying to understand if this is a misstep by me and I'm just not noticing, because this hasn't been like him up until this point. Not the asshole! What is that? That's so weird. That's strange. Why are the friends being weird about it too? That's just, I feel like that's just all a recipe for disaster. A disaster. Am I the asshole for not attending my sister's wedding because she didn't invite my parents? I'm gonna say no. No? This could be messy. It could be messy. The family ones, I mean, these are mostly family ones. Oh, partner. I misread that. You're so right. Okay. Am I the asshole for not attending my sister's wedding because she didn't invite my partner? Then yes. I changed my answer. So my 29 female sister, 27 female, is getting married in a few months. We've always had a decent relationship, but we've never been super close. I've been with my partner, 31 male, for 4 years now, and we live together. My family knows him well, and he's come to many family gatherings over the years. When I received my wedding invitation, I noticed that it was only addressed to me. I asked my sister if my partner's invitation was lost in the mail, and she said that she didn't invite him because she wanted a small, intimate wedding with just close family and friends. I pointed out that my partner is practically family and that other relatives are bringing their significant others. She replied that it was her wedding and she gets to choose who attends. I was hurt by this and told her that if my partner isn't welcome, then I won't be attending either. She got upset, saying I'm being selfish and that I'm putting my relationship over our family. My parents think I should just go to keep the peace, but I feel strongly about standing up for my partner in our relationship. Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding if my partner isn't invited? I don't know. It could be like deep. It could be deep. I feel like the partner should be understanding too I mean, you should go to your sister's wedding. You should. I would try to dig into why sister doesn't like your partner. It feels like more than just with a small intimate wedding. Like, what did he do to her? That's what I'm wondering. That's kind of what I'm wondering too. I'm like, is there something suspicious going on here? These are cousins. Their significant others are attending, and most of them are in relationships but not married. I feel like there's like some missing information. I feel like we're not getting the whole picture here. So it's kind of just generally, I don't know. I think it just ends up leaning towards like, what are you, like, there's so many things that could be the case. Or it could be one of those where the family just doesn't like the partner for like an undisclosed reason, or it could be like a myriad of reasons for one way or the other. I just feel like there's some context being missed here. I do think, like, what did he do? Mine too is like one of the first thoughts, but I'm also just like, why? Like, why? I just feel like there's just not enough information. I guess based on this, I'm gonna say yes. Alright, this one is, am I the asshole for taking back my offer to help my son without housing? Yes? I'm gonna say yes. But who knows? That's like my first reaction. But, I mean, there could be the case of, like, he did something, like, pretty shitty that was, like, or going against something. I don't know. There could be, like, a condition or something. My son and his family are struggling. It's hard out there, I know. He came to me to see if I could help him with rent for a few months. I said that I would, and I did. I gave him $2,000. That was 2/3 of his rent for 2 months. It was a gift. I didn't expect it back. I thought about my granddaughter growing up in that little apartment, and I started looking around without talking to him first. That was 100% my own fault, yes. I found a townhouse for a reasonable price. If I put down a huge down payment, then I could let my son and his family move in here. It would only cost $850 a month for the mortgage and property taxes. Okay, it could. Okay. It was close to my granddaughter's school and only 5 blocks from their current apartment. I took my son and daughter-in-law to see it and told them about my idea. They could live there and get a much better home for their family for just a little over half their current. That could give them an opportunity to save up, pay down bills, whatever, you know. They said it was a very generous gift. I corrected them. I was buying the house by making money from my retirement account. I would need it back. They got really mad and they would be paying a mortgage and not getting equity on the property. It has devolved into a big fight. I no longer wish to participate, and so I told the agent to let it go. My agent called me because my son had asked her to take him to see it again, and she was confused because I said I was no longer interested. It was already pending for another buyer. Now my son is upset with me for taking away a house with a front yard from his daughter. It seems like no matter what I do, I have done something wrong. Am I the asshole? No. I'm gonna say no. I mean, it was good to have that, but I mean, I feel like it was a missed opportunity. So, I mean, I'm gonna say no. That was weird. He should have, like, if they were fighting and stuff like that. I mean, it was a good spot, but I mean, you were having an argument, and that was a pretty good house. I'm sure it was quite a deal if they'd already found another buyer. And he also let them know straight up, like, it would help them get their bills back together or, like, pay off some stuff. Like, this one is, would I be the asshole for scaring a struggling single mother into paying me? Yes. Yes? What is this wording? Would I be the asshole for— I'm sorry, this is probably really messed up. I, 20 female, had a medical situation arise 2 weeks prior to a music festival that I had been planning to attend. I posted my 2 tickets for sale on Facebook, and a mutual reached out saying she wanted to purchase them. Let's call her L, 19 female. Some background info. Elle got pregnant in high school and now has a 4-year-old. I had attended 2 school dances with their friend group over years prior, so I knew who she was and I sort of considered her to be a friend. She came from a good family. We had plenty of mutuals, and I felt she was a nice girl from the interactions we had. I originally purchased my tickets for $600, but since I was selling them sort of last minute, I posted them for $450. Elle originally said she'd love to go, but she recently got diagnosed with diabetes and had medical bills to pay. She asked if I'd accept $300 if nobody else bought them. I wanted someone to get the opportunity to go to this festival even if I couldn't, so I agreed. That means I'd only get 50% of what I originally paid for the tickets, not including hotel and parking. This event had wristband tickets, so Elle arrived at my house to pick up the wristband the following Monday. She asked to pay in 2 to 3 installments because she needed to take care of her kid and had medical bills that needed to be paid off. I told her that was fine, and she asked, would it be alright if I gave you money on Thursday since that's when I get paid? What the heck? She shouldn't have bought the tickets. I agreed again. Like I said, I'd met this girl, we had mutuals, I knew her family, I trusted her. Thursday came around, and Elle posted on Facebook that she took a spontaneous trip to Florida with her best friend. I asked if she was going to pay me, and she said she'd give me cash when she got back since she didn't have Venmo. Elle returns from vacation, and I text her asking if she has my money. She says she's been laid off from her job, but she'd borrow money from her mom to pay me that weekend. The weekend comes, no word from her. I text her again, and she says she needs a bit longer, but she promises she's good for the cash, and she's sorry for how long it's taken. The event arrives, and still nothing. Elle attends the 4-day festival, but upon her return, I hear no word. She sends me a text saying she's babysitting for cash and to please understand because she's struggling to even put gas in her car. She says that she pays me, then she won't have money to take care of her kid. As I mentioned, I'm 20 and I have bills to pay too. It's been a month and a half now, and Elle still hasn't paid me a penny. She says I'm being selfish for asking her for money, that she has a kid to feed. What? I want to request a civil standby. Officer accompanies me to reclaim my property. Oh, I can't afford to lose this money, but I don't actually want to put her through court. I feel I may be the asshole since she has a child to care for, but I also feel like I don't owe her anything, especially since I already gave her a discount for $300 And I have expenses too. Oh my god. I feel like the approach, I don't know. Hold on. That's crazy. First of all, that is kind of crazy. It would kind of scare them, yeah. She's already guilt tripping her for, like, I'm struggling, like, to do all this, and she did the thing, she did a spontaneous vacation, which I get, like, you should be able to treat yourself, but also, you asked to pay it in installments. If you didn't have the money, that's fair, I get it, like, you know, but you should pay. Because you said you would. I don't know. I don't think you're the asshole on this one because it's kind of messed up, but it's whatever they're starting to be like, I need to feed my kid. Which, yes, you do. But it just seems like you're not good. It's just not a good feeling. So, not the asshole. Don't do the scared tactic, but do file a small claim suit against her. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, she needs to learn a lesson. The whole boo-hoo, I'm a single mother, I have medical bills, is nothing but crybaby entitlement. She shouldn't have agreed to pay for festival tickets if she can't afford to feed her kid. Very true. A different approach will be better. So, the asshole, you are the asshole for the way that you wanted to approach the situation, but it does suck for the situation that led to this series of events. I don't know. Yeah, yes, the asshole. Yes, the asshole. This one is, am I the asshole for not communicating that I wanted to go Dutch before dinner? What does that mean?
So you just pay your portion.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is a practice, a very common practice, actually. Just never heard of this phrase for how often it happens. I feel like going out for dinner with anyone is like assuming that you're gonna pay for yourself. But that's just me. No? No? I don't know. I feel like communication is key.
So, like, that's something you can probably safely assume?
Yeah. I don't know. That is a general assumption, I feel like. But not everybody thinks that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think everyone thinks it, but I think it's okay to think it.
Yeah. Mayhaps.
Like, I wouldn't be upset with anyone for assuming that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Hi all. I'll do my best to keep this post clear, concise, and most of all as unbiased as I can. My wife, brother-in-law, his wife, and two sisters-in-law and myself go out to dinner regularly. I often foot the bill just to be nice. Ooh. It's been quite a few times that I've consecutively paid the bill in an attempt to be generous. My siblings-in-laws are just starting out with their careers, and I'm just a little more established with mine. On one particular night, we invited my brother-in-law and his wife to dinner, and they came with us. My brother-in-law had recently lost his job, but the fact that they agreed to dinner made me think that they were still good with their funds because they decided to come anyway. When the bill came, I told the server to split the bill. They were taken aback because they got used to me paying all the time. My wife told me that I should have made it clear that I intended to split the check and everyone pay their own share before we went to dinner, and that it was a dick move that I did not. You did kind of pay for all of them before, so it's... My point of view is that they shouldn't have expected me to pay all the time, and the fact that I've done it so much have made them entitled to it. Am I the asshole? That's true. Like, the invite. We're going to such and such place at such and such time. You guys are more than welcome to join us if you'd like. Also, I wasn't supposed to know that he lost his job, which for some reason may have made it slip from when the bill came. I didn't look at the bill and think, F him, he lost his job and let me rub the salt in the wound anyway. Like many of you think, legitimately slipped my mind, and I was reminded of it after the fact by my wife. I'm only human, but this aside doesn't seem to change anything anyway. For the record, they paid. Nobody said anything at that moment, and we parted ways. For a while, I thought nothing of it until I heard they were not happy about it later with rhetoric that found its way back to me. That is really poor timing. I will give him that. That was very poor timing. It is true that you had like paid for it quite a few times. It is good to also assume to just pay for yourself every single time for food. This is true. I feel like that's etiquette, right? But that's kind of crazy. It's very poor timing, though. I will say it's very poor timing. Like, sorry you lost your job. And we totally forgot. If he said something, the wife probably would have reminded him before anyway, you know? I'm gonna say, like, I understand why, but also it's just, like, really poor timing. So does that make them the asshole? What do you think? What do you think?
I think in his particular circumstance, he probably, should have said something for him.
Yeah.
But I'm also in the camp of like the brother should have been like, well, to be clear, I can't afford to do this.
Yeah. It feels like it does kind of go both ways in that sense.
Either way, one of them should have said something.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's just there is a series of like misses that happen at the same time. So no, and they did end up paying, but oh my god. This one's already deemed not the asshole, so let's see if how they are not the asshole. So am I the asshole for telling my landlords I don't want to maintain their pool? No. My landlords recently moved out and are planning on renting out their apartment in the future. They didn't even tell me until the day of that they were moving out. They then messaged me saying that they wanted to come back and have a discussion about pool management. I told them I don't want to be responsible for managing it because I'm paranoid about something that could happen and I would be held responsible for their pool and I don't have the funds to fix it if something were to happen. I'm also not home every day and I just don't want to take on that responsibility. They got upset saying all I would have to do is flip a switch on and off every day and put chlorine in once a week. I also don't even know where they would go to buy the chlorine, and I'm already struggling to keep up with my bills. I don't want to add extra gas money to go get chlorine and then have to send them a receipt and wait to get reimbursed for the chlorine gas. This really feels like a full-time job that I didn't ask for, nor is it part of my lease. Am I the asshole for not wanting to take care of their pool after they moved out? Although I don't think it's a full-time job, I do think it is absolutely within your rights to not to not want to do it. Like, absolutely. Yeah, not the asshole, absolutely not. Am I the asshole for telling my vegan sister that I will not remodel her home anymore if she doesn't serve me meat? Yes? That's weird. I mean, if you, I mean, maybe just pay for food or something if they're pay. I don't know. No? Yes? I would just say yes. It feels very demanding, but okay, I would say yes. My sister bought a home and it needs a lot of work. I told her that I would be willing to do it if she provided food and the materials. Okay, so it was a deal. I am anemic and fainted a lot as a child. Almost all of my meals have some type of meat in them or are very heavy in protein. This is the problem. The meals my sister have been serving have left me hungry and lightheaded. The work is labor intensive and me working in the morning until late afternoon usually makes me feel awful by the end of the day. Yeah, that makes sense. I brought my own food one day and it wasn't an issue, so I asked she to make heavier meals that have more protein in them. It hasn't been working. Yesterday I fainted, and after I informed her that I need her to make meals with meat in them or I will not be remodeling things anymore. She thinks I am a huge jerk for asking this on her, and I am standing firm on this. I am also not willing to bring my own food since I'm doing her a huge favor already by remodeling her home. Sister can just buy food. She can buy food. Sister can go buy food because they're remodeling the house. I think that's just not asshole thing. Order Uber Eats. Yeah, not the asshole. I was wrong. You agreed to help pay. You agreed to feed them. It makes sense. This is, am I the asshole for double checking with my husband before making plans with a friend? What does he know? That's weird. Alright, I, 26 female, have been married to my husband, 29 male, for 2 years, and we have a 9-month-old son. My friend Amy, 27 female, is normally a very fun friend, but recently I've been noticing that when she asks me to do something and I tell her I need to double check with my husband, she gets annoyed. I admittedly never really used to do this, but since I had a baby, it makes me more sense to do because my husband was already making plans. It's not like we can just do our own separate things anymore. We have a baby to think of and need to plan to find someone to babysit if we'll both be out. This past weekend, I went to the movies with Amy, and after it was over, she suggested we go get dinner. This wasn't originally the plan, so I said, yes, sounds good. Let me call my husband really quick. And before I could even finish my sentence, she literally stomped off and shouted, forget it. I was literally so confused, and she had drove me there, so I had to call my husband and come get me, and he had to wake up our baby to do so. She left me there? That's pretty messed up. The next day, Amy texted me a bunch of long texts and basically said it's creepy that I have to let my husband know my every move, and that it's rude for me to do that because we make plans together. My husband isn't invited, so he doesn't need to weigh in. I tried to tell her that I literally just needed to let him know where I was so he didn't worry, but she kept repeating herself, but then also insinuated that my husband is abusive. First off, I would put the hurt on him, and he never tried to abuse me. And second, I don't think that's abusive to ask your partner to let you know your whereabouts. Like, I'm a mother. I can't just disappear. And he also would never tell me no, I can't go somewhere. Like, he actively tells me to go out with friends. But if I don't come home when I say I will, then I should at least call to let him know so he doesn't think I'm dead in a ditch. I told Amy this, and she was not having it. Amy, girl, what the fuck? Also, for context, Amy has only ever been in one exclusive relationship when we were in school. They broke up before graduation and never lived together. So maybe that's part of it, but she really seems to believe in being controlled and that I should just do my thing and not check in with my husband. My mom said from now on, probably don't tell her I'm checking in with him, but still do it in text. But my husband said she's the disrespectful one and that I could do better than her as a friend. So am I the asshole? I don't like her. She's not your friend. That's what the husband said. Not the asshole. Your friend is being a little weird about that. It is you have a baby, you know? This is this big team effort here. Yeah, no. Not the asshole. Definitely not the asshole.
Am I the asshole for not handing over my wedding dress to my daughter since it would need to be altered? That's weird. I don't know. It's giving. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I feel like I'm wrong though. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Probably the asshole. I don't know. We'll see. I have a very nice wedding dress, which my own mother made for me, so I have a big attachment to it, especially since my mom passed away. I personally do not sew, never was good at it. I have two daughters. One of them has always loved my dress. She's going to get married next year. She asked me if she could use my dress. My daughter will not fit into the dress. It would need to be upsized multiple times. This basically would be cutting the dress up and adding panels. It wouldn't be the same dress. I told her no. This caused a huge argument. She's pissed I won't allow her to upsize the dress and I am leaving it to rot. I told her my decision was final and I don't want my dress to turn into a new dress. She thinks I'm a huge jerk. There are a few things I don't like with this. I can understand having that special sentiment with it. It's just, yeah, that's the part I don't like. She's totally calling her daughter fat. That's the part I'm like, the way that was worded and everything, I don't know. I feel like the mom is in her right to like not want to do that, but I don't know. I just feel like she would have just. I feel like she was not nice about it, but she's being a dick about it. Yeah, she is. Yeah, that I agree. Not the asshole, but she's being a dick. Would OP's daughter make it such a huge argument? Because OP's daughter has encapsulated the idea of that dress into her fantasy of her wedding her whole life. For you and I, it's very easy to understand OP's stance rationally, but not for her daughter. Like, especially if she's talking so highly about it, I can understand like that daughter's like being like that. I agree. Not the asshole, but not a cool way to go about it. Would I be the asshole if I kicked my girlfriend's mother out of my house? Yes? I feel like I'm also wrong on that one. I, 27 male, and my girlfriend, 24 female, live together. However, with that, her mother, 57 female, lives with us. Essentially, her mom was evicted from their apartment a few days after my girlfriend moved in with me. Since then, it has been utter hell. Essentially, the mom does a few chores but does not work, has not applied for jobs or anything, so she is essentially a leech, and my girlfriend has been kind of the same. She has a few jobs but doesn't do any chores or anything really. I provide for everything and everyone and pay all the bills and for dinners, outings, etc. How are you paying for all the bills if she's also working a lot of jobs? I feel I would be the asshole here because she would be homeless and on the street, and my girl is considering going with her if that happens. But I also have no qualms on ending the relationship if she did choose to move out. Also, so you already have your answer, dude. You already have your answer. You are resenting her in this post right off the bat. It's just, it's probably for the best. It isn't cool. Dude should just like literally like I don't know this the tone. I don't know. Maybe am I reading too into it? Probably, but like he said the mom does the chores. The mom does a few chores but does not work. And then the daughter has been working. She has a few jobs but doesn't do any chores or anything really. It sounds like mom's got it covered. I provide for everything and everyone and pay all the bills and for dinners, outings, etc. It's not the math ain't mathin'. Yeah, just get out of the relationship, honestly, because mm-mm. Mm-mm. Low-key sounds like they're taking advantage of him. I just don't know. It's the way that he's like talking about it is just why I'm not fully convinced. Like I can understand how he like feels this way and everything, which is yeah, being taken advantage is never good, and, you know. But if like the way that he's just talking about her, I think they just need to end it. I just feel like there's not enough info, but I do like with this like with some of this information, yeah, I don't think you are the asshole. The way you're talking about her is kind of yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say not the asshole, but there's not a lot of info, but simply by the way he's talking about her, then the relationship isn't no, yeah, the way that the message is being read, like he wrote it out, that relationship is over. All right. This one is am I the asshole for refusing to give any of the money my late father gave me before his death to his widow and other children? No? Lucy, no. I, 33 male, was estranged from my father for over a decade. Damn. It had been a very long time coming, and I did finally decide to become estranged at 20. I had already moved out when I was 17, and I had made sure to limit my contact with my father before ending all ties between us. A lot of this had to do with the decisions he made while my mom was terminally ill and after her death. This ranged from trying to sleep with mom's sister while mom was still alive, what? To yelling at my mom while she was sick for being so sick, to burning several family photos of us in the days after mom died. What the fuck? He also sold my mom's easel, which she had most of her life, and was sentimentally valuable to not just me, but my aunts and uncles too. I was 13 at the time. My dad ended up damaging a lot of mom's stuff when he met his second wife and moved her in. I can't. To move her in, he moved my mom out. In the process, a lot of harm came to mom's things. My aunts and uncles took them and stored them, and we went through them when I was 20. I was completely no contact with my dad until his death almost a year ago. Even when I was informed he had transferred a lot of money over to me and had put my name on the deed of the family vacation home he and my mom had owed prior to her death. That was the biggest chunk of everything he owed. He never told his wife, now widow. He also didn't own the house that they were living in and that we had all lived in prior. It was his friend's house. I was never sure how it worked, but he never paid for it while I was living there 3 years for me. After he died, a letter was sent to me where he told me he had given me all of that, so it was mine outright, and because he wanted to make up for his mistakes in a small way. His leaving me with so much meant there was basically nothing for his wife and the other children they had. Wow. Only what he had in joint accounts and no property. It was all legally binding. His widow attempted to sue for a fair share of my father's assets, but her case did not go far because it had been handled prior to his passing and was 100% legally mine. I didn't go to the funeral or anything, so I was surprised to hear from her, and I still don't know where she got contact info for me, or my father for that matter. She told me I should be looking after my family. No, I can't. This is really sad. She told me I should be looking after my family and I should want better for the children she and my father shared at least. No offense, I don't think this is business. After you go with no contact, she made it clear she expected me to want a relationship. What in the audacity? I told her I did not, and I did not consider her children my family because her late husband stopped being my family a long time ago. It's fucking right. She said it wasn't fair and I could be so cold to my flesh and blood and they got screwed over by their father and then by me. That's not OP's responsibility. That was all the fucking dad, dude. She said I owed them something. No, you don't. Like, no. Get your head out of your butt. I told her I did it. I ended the call and blocked her, but she reached out to me through social media and called me selfish and cruel and how I had no morals. The feeling that you are no morals. Got him. What a, oh my god, not the asshole. Your dad's an asshole. That whole like little stepmother, wicked witch stepmother. Yeah, assholes. Huh? The audacity. Oh my god, it's not OP's fault that the dad was just shitty through and through. Like it just, damn, that sucks for stepmother and those kids. Those kids didn't have a choice. Like that is unfortunate, and hopefully they're like able to like, I don't know, figure it out. But it's not OP's responsibility, TBH. Am I the asshole for not giving up my spot in the bathroom line for small children? No. No? Okay, let's see. The other day, I, 33 female, went to the farmer's market at a local park. I have a very weak bladder, so as soon as I felt like I might have to go, I went to the bathroom, which had an extremely long line. By the time I made it so I'd be up next, I really had to go. It was an emergency. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a mom and her two small children, probably ranging from 2 to 4, squeezing past everyone to get to the front of the line. As she comes up to me, a stall opens and it's my turn. She tries to get my attention to skip me, but I ignore her and go do my business, barely making it. When I come out and wash my hands, she comes out the next stall and gives me dirty looks and makes a show of having her kids thank the ladies who let her skip the line, causing other people to give me dirty looks. My brother took my side, but one of my friends said that I could have used the empty men's restroom if it's that bad of an emergency for me. So could they. What? Like, mother's there with them, mommy dearest is with them. I don't know. I mean, I'm also not a parent, and as I always say, and I'm never going to put myself in that situation, knock on wood. But I mean, you can't control when your kids need to use the restroom, and they probably are telling you a little too late too. But I just don't think I think it's a little weird that you were like, you didn't let me skip the line because my kids had to go. Like, your kids are my responsibility. No offense. Like, and especially if you're about to fucking piss your pants, it's not as weird as a child pissing their pants compared to an adult. It doesn't sound like there was gonna be any wins. Not the asshole. There's no great social exception to give priority to young children in this situation, and insofar as anyone might expect that of you, the reason is that children have worse bladder control and are more prone to accidents than adults. When you're in exactly the same spot in terms of urgency as the kids, then whatever minimal obligation you might arguably have had no longer exists. It's just, I don't like how the mom just tried to make her feel bad about it. I'm gonna say not the asshole. I am the parent of a potty training 3-year-old, and I have had folks be really, really kind in the bathroom lines. I have never asked, but folks will often just offer to let us go ahead, and I also basically just avoid places with long bathroom lines as much as possible when we were at the stage where my kid was really unable to hold it for a few minutes. But the fact of it is what's way more socially acceptable and less upsetting for a toddler to pee or poop themselves in public than an adult, and I, as the parent, have at least one full change of clothes and cleanup materials in my bag at all times. I would never ever want an adult to piss themselves so my kid could use the potty. I feel like that should be a normal thought. Alright, this one is, am I the asshole for defending myself with my sister after taking legal custody of my nephew? No? No? I'm gonna say no. My husband, 30 male, and I, 30 female, won legal custody of my nephew Keon, 15 male, in June. Since September 2022 has been living with us on and off. It started out with the intent to be temporary, but my sister would take Keon back and then send him to live with us again. She'd visit him frequently at times and then go weeks without any contact. She'd vent to me about it, then she'd complain that we weren't fulfilling our end of the agreement. Keon wanted to stay with me, my husband, and our children. We knew it wasn't good for to have to go back and forth inconsistently. We knew he wanted to be with us, so we asked the courts to give us legal custody instead of having a family agreement going on. Even during court proceedings, my sister would take Kian back and then send him to us again. A therapist was involved, someone from CPS, and they ultimately decided my husband and I should have custody. Oof. To explain background, is my sister's oldest child. She had him with her late husband, Sean. Sean died when he was 5. Aww. When Kian was 7, my sister met her second husband, and she married him about 18 months after they first met. Whoa. She now has more children with her second husband. Kian was distant with them from the start. He was civil to my sister's husband, but also expressed that he didn't want his mom to get married again. My sister chose to ignore that at the time and convinced herself that Kian would come around and would love having a dad in the house again. He was disinterested in his younger half siblings from the start, and it was only when my sister read some homework Kian had done and had answered the question with, "I don't have siblings." Oh no. She started to take it seriously. My sister decided they needed family therapy. Kian was open, but he didn't have any feelings for his half siblings or stepdad. He hated spending time with them and wished it could be just him and his parents again. Aww. They had some homework to do. Kian's honesty during the homework that he would never treasure memories with his half siblings was when my sister first asked us to take him in. She wanted him to work on that. She hoped distance would make him realize he did care or would make him more willing to try, but it didn't. It hasn't. He likes not seeing them. He likes seeing my sister, misses her, and gets upset when he doesn't, but he has never once missed his stepdad or half siblings. My sister is furious we went for legal custody, and even more furious that we won. She asked how I could do that, and I told her we had spoken about the upheaval not being good for everyone. But she was still back and forth with Kian. I told her I had to put him first when she was making his life so unstable. She asked how I could defend myself, and I made sure Kian couldn't reconcile with them now. I made sure. What? I told her she could still see him, the judge even said it, and she could always work on committing to him. She said I was punishing her as much as Kian is, and she'll never forgive me for it. Am I the asshole? Those poor little half siblings, too. I think it was good that OP wanted to offer more stable, housing and everything. That's good. I don't know. It does get a little tricky, especially when you bring chords into it. I'm not laughing because it's funny though. I swear. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like the kid's best interest was at heart. And I don't know. The mom's not liking, but also it's gonna be kind of hard to try to change your child's mind. But I mean, he just misses his old family. I don't think he was able to properly unload that. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I sought legal custody of my nephew and won despite my sister seeing her son and wanting him to live with her and her family. This might have been shitty on my part because she is his mother and she was still working in therapy and seeing him, mostly, and I simply made it harder for her to get custody again. I strongly believe this was the right thing, and yet might also make me the asshole, because I wasn't able to work it out between the two of us as sisters. Doesn't like his siblings. He prefers hanging out at OP's house and with their family. And OP ended up taking it to court, and they were able to get the okay. But I do think it might have been a little rushed. I don't know, but yeah, it is true that it'll be harder for the child to have custody, but also it's going to be up to the child. They're 15 too, and I don't know. I feel bad for the kids though, all the kids. I'm gonna say not the asshole. Well, I don't know. It just really does suck though. Am I the asshole for telling my wife to drop an issue that her daughter is having at school? I'm gonna say no, but I know helicopter parents are a thing. So it could be one of those two things, but it might be an important issue. So I'm gonna say no. My wife, 36 female, and I, 35 male, have 2 kids, 10 female, 8 male. We live in a school district that has already started school, and our kids have been in classes for about 2 to 3 weeks now. Our daughter has been having an issue with her lunch being stolen a few times a week. The school offers breakfast and lunch, but it isn't free. We always put money in accounts for the kids in case they want to eat school lunch instead of what we pack for them. So our daughter doesn't go hungry even if her lunch is taken. She also doesn't have any dietary restrictions. Her food is being taken! My wife works night shift as a nurse, so I am the one getting the kids up and ready for school in the morning, including packing lunches. And yes, I put their names on everything. My daughter has told me every time that her lunch was taken. The first few times I asked her just to eat school lunch, but she doesn't always like what they offer. So I started making 2 lunches for her and told her to hide her one in her backpack instead of bringing it into the classroom where the other lunches are. I mean, okay, what I was thinking of, like, maybe it was another kid, like, who just needed a lunch and they were just, like, helping out. But if the kid's lunch is getting taken, like, this feels like bullying.
Plot twist is the teacher.
Not the teacher. Who's just feeding them? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is giving bullying. To hide your lunch? What do you mean? I've also talked to her teacher about it, and she said she would be more vigilant about the lunches, but that hasn't stopped them from being stolen. My daughter is not the only one having this issue. What? My wife is up in arms about it and wants to bring it up to the principal, superintendent, school board, etc. She thinks that whoever is stealing from our daughter is a thief and has some kind of grudge against her daughter. I, however, have a different view on it. You were... Here, I got you a lunch, so after your bully takes that first one, what do you mean? I don't know. The way I see it, whoever's taken lunches probably needs the food more than my daughter does. If their family had means of providing packed lunches, I would assume they would do so. Same goes for putting money in an account for school lunch. My feeling is that whichever kid is stealing lunches is hungry, and I don't want to compound that by making this a bigger issue. The teacher's already aware, and I don't feel we need to elevate this beyond that. Our family is not in dire straits financially. We do just fine, but I know that this isn't the case for everyone. And if packing 2 lunches for my daughter means that a hungry kid gets a solid meal, I'm okay with it coming out of our pockets. I can understand that only if, like, they're not being rude. My wife and I got into an argument about this because she wants to send an email to anyone and everyone at the school district, and she feels needs to know about this. I told her that we should wait and see if the teacher can figure out who the kid is, and we can handle this without bringing the whole school district down on this kid and their family. Yeah, I mean, going to the superintendent and everybody is kind of a little too much. It's like 0 over 100 here. My wife wants to set up meetings with the teacher and principal, but I told her she would need to be the one attending them because I won't. And since she usually sleeps during the day when the kids are in school, and she didn't like that. She thinks I'm being an asshole by not protecting our daughter, but our daughter is not going hungry, and whoever is taking her lunches isn't either, which I'm okay with. Find out what the bully is allergic to and make lunch with that in it. That's, a lot worse, I feel like. I think OP is giving too much benefit of the doubt, but also, like, the wife is being extra as fuck. Yeah, it's literally 0 or 100. I'm a little concerned, like, I would, I don't know, because you could try to find out who it is and you can find out, like, the story and stuff, but, like, stealing gets you in trouble, you know? And hopefully they're not, like, being bullied, but, I mean, if they're stealing the lunches, you know, who knows? And for your perspective and that of your wife, what about your daughter? Does she feel victimized, or is she on board that the lunch thief is a hungry kid and she is showing that child mercy? She's keenly aware that there are kids in her class and school that are less fortunate than we are. She sees these kids every day and she probably has a better idea than the teacher who the culprit is. But she's 10, and as long as she gets to eat lunch every day, she doesn't have a problem with it. She was upset after the first couple times, but after talking with her about it and confirming that with her that packing 2 lunches is a solid plan, she's fine. She's now looking at it as she's doing something to help someone else without the other person needing to ask or feel embarrassed. Like, real talk, what I think needs to happen is the teacher needs to figure out who it is and sit down with them and figure out why. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the kid's okay with it, but it's giving, like, I don't know, what if the bully, like, or what if the kid is a bully and they're like, you better not say anything? But I mean, if she's okay with it, how much pressure did you put on your daughter before she was okay with it? Keep in mind that she is 10 and doesn't want daddy to be ashamed or disappointed in her. Now that she knows not to count on you to stick up for her, what happens when something else is stolen? Whoa. Maybe a sentimental gift from her grandparents or something she saved up for her allowance to buy. What happens when she gets picked on and bullied? Do you really think she will go to you for help again? What happens when someone copies her test and she thinks she has to let them go? She gets in trouble too. You're the asshole for teaching the wrong lesson. You are raising a victim. If the kid's okay with it, she's either being tormented or she knows who it is and there's someone less fortunate. Yeah. And it's like it's such a like broad aspect and everything. I'm gonna say, Dad, you need to be a little bit more concerned. I mean, I can get it. I don't know. Like, are they stealing? She did say her lunch kept getting taken and she was upset about it those first few times. That's the part where I don't know. That's the part that gets me. Nah, gotta teach your kid to not get walked on. Yeah, yeah. Mom's being too much, dad's not doing enough. Which, that's crazy. I'm gonna say, yes. I think my answer is gonna be yes. But so is mom, a little bit. I don't, like, getting all of that involved might do a lot more harm than good, especially if it is the benefit of the doubt and child is going through it and everything. It just, going about it in that way is, I don't know. But then again, I also don't have kids, so. Am I the asshole for sharing a list of baby names that often get misspelled with my brother? I'm confused. No? I'm confused. I'm a teacher and I have 2 children with my husband. When we were first expecting a baby, we talked about what we wanted our child's name, and something important to both of us is a name that was unlikely to be misspelled. Using my experience as a teacher, I compiled a list of boy and girl names that this tends to be a problem with. I also included another list of names that, while easy to spell generally, have many different spellings that are considered correct and could be annoying. Haley, Haley, Haley. The list is pretty long, but some of the names people would be like, "Oh my god, no, that's not misspelled often," but I have heard of it happening enough and it made it onto the list. My brother and sister-in-law are expecting a baby together. He wanted to avoid names that have high risk of being misspelled, so he asked me if I could make a copy of the list to share with him. Of course I said yes, and I saw no possible from sharing the list. But sister-in-law was not happy. She didn't like that I had any part of the decision. My brother told her it would be a good resource to have while they searched for names. She told him the list was way too long and it wasn't my place. He asked! They argued and eventually asked sister-in-law's sister, who is labor and delivery nurse, if she could confirm the names I wrote and can be misspelled somewhat often. She confirmed the names, said nothing I had added was wrong. She clarified, like I had, that it didn't guarantee it would happen, but it often does. Sister-in-law still didn't like it, and she asked me if I had saved the list to interfere in other people's naming of their kids. What? I said no. I kept it because my husband and I didn't know if we would have more children together. But I wouldn't deny sharing with someone else because it's not a list of names that I'm telling people to use, and I told her I'm not even saying not to use them. Just that in my experience as a teacher who speaks to kids, they get misspelled. Sister-in-law said it wasn't my place to share any list. Am I the asshole? Brother went up to her because he's like, "Oh yeah, no, this list of names." Why? I don't know. No, not the asshole. How is that her fault? I just see this as like, OP was just approached. She's like, "Yeah, of course," and then she gets the crap end of the stick from it. It was just as a helpful thing. I hope the sister doesn't end up like doing something later on to like name the child and then end up regretting the name or something. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think that might be the asshole. I shared a list of baby names that often get misspelled with my brother, who asked me for it because of my experience as a teacher. I didn't ask if my sister-in-law was okay with my brother getting the list, and I then, knowing sister-in-law didn't like it, defended myself and claimed that I didn't see the issue. So I might be the asshole for those reasons. Didn't check with her, then didn't accept she didn't like it. Plus, it's a very long list that I compiled, so might appear overly influential. I can see sister-in-law just being like, after hearing like, "Why'd you do that?" And then it's like, "I don't see the issue." It's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to understand like better, so I feel like, I guess to be fair, my opinion is that of a grain of salt, as always though. Okay. This will be our last one for tonight. It is, am I the asshole for not letting my in-laws to kiss our child on the lips, even when my fiance is okay with it? I'm gonna say no, because I have heard horrible stories of like how sick kids can get. I, 23 female, and my fiance, 27 male, have recently had this huge argument about whether letting his parents kiss our future child or not on the lips. I'm completely against it because I always found that weird just seeing it happen to their other grandchildren. But my fiance is saying that his parents giving our child a kiss on the lips is non-negotiable. I told him they can kiss the child's head or cheek to show affection, but not the lips because it makes me uncomfortable. He says I lacked love and affection from my parents because they never did that to me as a child, but his parents did that to him and his siblings growing up. So he was given more affection as a child than I. He said if I disagreed, then he would just let his parents do it without my consent, especially if I'm not present. Hearing him say that has caused me to fear having a child with him a little now because go behind my back and do it anyways. I feel like that's a red flag. And the way to come out of like go after her because you weren't loved as a kid is weird. That's fucking weird. That was out of pocket. It's just the way that he's responding to it and just like I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like that's he's gonna do that a lot more often, especially if you're going to have a kid with him. No. Mm-mm. OP has offered the following explanation as to why they think they might be the asshole. I told my fiance I wouldn't have children with him if he doesn't change his mindset on letting his parents kiss our child on the lips. I feel like an asshole because I basically am giving him an ultimatum. It's the way, I don't know, it's like there is no meeting in the middle. It's do this or don't, and I'm gonna make sure it happens anyway. And I don't know, that's my gut says run, girl. But I'm also okay with accepting the fact that everybody's different. If you can't accept something a little different, like well, then again, yeah, be the feeling of insulted is not good. I feel like there are real concerns about like that not being a thing, but they didn't post like that as one of their concerns. They just did see it as weird. But I don't know. I'm really raising an eyebrow on how his response was to it. Like to say that you were loved as a kid. This but I don't know. That would start a whole fight after that, personally. I mean, it is an important conversation to have with your partner. I just what makes like one of the things. Sorry, I'm gonna stop this one. One of the things that I just don't like is the fact that like what if he doesn't stop there for something he doesn't end up agreeing with her on that, you know? But I would be insulted. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't really think of it too much in that way before. But I mean, it is a really good point. Damn. Anyway, that was our last one. Yay!